Are you ready, Randy?
Yes.
Okay, give me a
Sure.
few minutes. What time you have to leave, by the way?
Not till 7:45.
Okay, that's fine. Then we have plenty of time. That's fine. I'm not gonna rush into it. Then we're gonna allow another 5 minutes people to come in. And then we can get cracking. You'll be the first speaker though. Perfect. We're going to be starting in more or less about 2 minutes time. A lot of excitement for this meeting, by the way. There are a few people having a little difficulty joining us, but I think it should be okay pretty soon.
Good evening, Nav.
Hey, Mr. Tumath, how do you do, sir?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. How's life?
Other than what our liberal government's doing to us, it's awesome.
Well, life is exciting. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow morning, April 13th.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Every day's a challenge.
Exciting day, sir. If you don't have the spice, life can become very boring, correct?
I guess so. A little boring doesn't hurt, though.
It all depends. Yeah, it's all about how do you perceive it, but it's all good. It's all good.
Nice.
Am I see? Oh, you're wearing glasses? Okay, I used to wear glasses, all right?
No, these are just reading glasses.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't normally, but I'm going through a lot of paperwork today, so
All right. Excellent.
fun times.
It's all good. It's all good.
Did you hear from the group in Windsor if they've, I understand they've listed with an agent. I'm just curious how it's going.
Well, they will be able to happy to speak to you. You can speak to any of the superstars, Vladimir or Teresa or Keith, and they can have a one-on-one conversation with you.
Sure. Is Teresa going to be on? I know she's.
Yeah,
gonna-
she is already here.
Oh, good.
She's yes.
Good, good.
Yeah, all these superstars, that's this is their home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know she had some issues there with, I'm not sure if it was her father or father-in-law.
I think her family is, I think her parents are at a certain age where they need a little bit of assistance.
Yeah,
So it's,
we're all there.
yeah. As a matter of fact, I talking to one of my old coaching students. She's 78, and
Wow.
funny enough that she bought a piece of property for 275,000. Now she has a offer on the table for $7 million.
Oh my God. Where's this, downtown Toronto? Or?
Yeah, it's not a big of a property. It's just land assembly by a builder or a developer, and they need it, and they will pay anything you want.
Wow.
So this is kind of fun.
Nice situation to be in.
Well, it comes with a few strings attached, and the builders don't hand out the money until they get permission to do so. So there's a waiting period. It can be pretty nerve-wracking, but I think I'm gonna get cracking. I know some people have difficulty lining up today for whatever the reasons are.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Navtaj. Welcome to Pre-Canada's meeting. Happy to see all of you here. And some of you have difficulty lining up, and make sure it's the same, more or less the same Zoom link for the whole year. And if you're a first-time liner, make sure you are registered with the Zoom, and then you're good to go. All right. Tonight, we're going to be a very exciting meeting tonight. Why is that? Things are changing. Budget is out. Tomorrow going to be interest rate. And what else is happening? There's a market shifting. There's a war. And there is something happening in US, and we are going through some issues of whether it's inflation, whether it's inventory, or whether it is the uncertainty. But one good news is this one: Canada has over 1 million job openings as we speak. So it's amazing that how many more Canadians do we need to fill up the jobs? Otherwise, it's becoming a struggle. So there's just some great news. And on the other hand, every great news comes with its own challenges, though. So we're going to be addressing all kinds of issues. We're going to have our top 5 or 6 speakers tonight. These are the top-notch experts in Canada. We bring them in for you, and they come in with incredible information and the knowledge, and they openly share with you. We also have our attorney. And we also going to have a CPA or mortgage broker, and my sister, Randy Goodman, one of the top-notch realtor. And again, my another brother from another mother is going to be here, David Grossman, and so on. So let's get cracking on this one. And those who are brand new to this, the first time here, just keep in mind that this is we started this club in 2005 in April. So we never missed a meeting ever since. It has become a fun. I just thought I'm going to do for 1 year or 6 months, and I'm going to wrap up the club. But it become pretty addictive. It's funny enough that the more people you know, the better you are. And this business is all about who do you know, what do you know, and what it make a huge difference if you get to know more people, though. So there's little thing article written about me, but many years ago, I was not aware, and somebody just brought to my attention. Whenever you're looking at any piece of property, there's one thing we focus on. Number one is education. What kind of education do you have? Don't go in as a speculator. Hey, I can go in real estate, make a lot of money. Second thing, do the proper market research. Third thing is your diligence. This was published in 2009. That is about 13 years ago or something like that. That is the Globe and Mail. And all I stated was it's important people seek information, but not only from a seasoned professional expert, instead of neighbors or co-worker, friends, or relatives. My question to you, you can put in the chat box, where do you get your advice from before you invest in real estate? Is it your neighbor, your bartender, hairdresser, the guy on the street, whoever it is though, make sure you are getting a proper advice though. That's very important for you. And there's something else something came about, this was a recent article about less than 3 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry, almost a month now. And the Toronto Star, facing foreclosure, power of sale, what to do, what not to do. And this is a little story we went through together, that how did we help families all across Canada when they are at the verge of losing their home, going through bankruptcy or going homeless. And we do every possible effort to make sure they don't lose home, they don't become homeless, they move forward with the pride, with dignity, and they can move forward by cutting their expenses, and they are able to move forward nicely though. I just thought I should share with you. Your network is your equal net worth. How many people do you know in this business is going to make a huge difference for you. So just be aware of that as well though. Talking about opportunities, real estate today, this is going to be all talk about real estate, nothing else but strictly real estate. How does it affect you? How do we make money on this type of business? And what we can do or what we shall not be doing altogether though. Our meetings is every second Tuesday. By the way, next meeting will be May 10th, every second Tuesday. If you're not a member, make sure you get your membership, freecanada.com. Our intention of having membership is not to make money, just a token, then enough to pay our staff or enough to pay all the expenses. But again, it is something, we all need, and we need the help from each other though. One of the most important part, how do you know? Contact equals contracts. And if you're going to be in a business for a long time, make sure that you build a lot of contacts. So tonight, here's going to be a challenge. I want you to meet at least 1 or 2 people and don't tell anything about yourself. Ask them, hey, how can I help you? That's the best way to build a relationship and contact. Don't tell them about I, my, me. That's boring. Just tell them, hey, what do you do? Show interest in the person. Invest 5-10 minutes of your time listening to them, and then you'll be able to establish a lot more friends, much better contacts than all talking about your cell phone. Just a thought I should share with you. I don't mean to offend anybody, but every time we meet, people talk and they never stop. Something about coaching. There's something you need to understand the value of a coach. Those who are the most successful people in this business have multiple coaches. If you don't have a coach, you're in the business, maybe you should definitely look into it. There'll be a lot of cracks. A coach can come in and fill it up and help you to move forward. Our membership is only $349. Make sure you get to meet all kind of different people. You never know what kind of person do you need and when do you need them. And if you are not doing it, hey, listen, that's going to be a thing. If you are not subscribed to a newsletter, flippingforprofit.ca/for newsletter, make sure you do. Excuse me. You'll get to know exactly what's happening with us and what are the events coming up. We usually have 1 or 2 or 3 different live events online every month, and sometimes a bit more. And that's a lot of fun to be in with. This is something I like to share quickly. Before I share this thing, I like to bring actually my guest speaker first because she has to go. And I like to bring our good friend before I bring anybody else tonight. And that person is right here, my friend and my sister. Her name is Randy Goodman. Some of you might have heard about her. She is one of a kind of a celebrity in Canada. She is not one time, she's 9 times, not one time, 9 times the best-selling author. She's an international speaker. I've known her for a very long time, and she's an incredible person. Randy, it's all yours tonight, my friend.
Thank you so much, Navtaj, and thank you for letting me go early. I apologize to everybody for bringing this out of order, but excited to be here and want to share with you. And I am not going to take a very long time at all, but we all know that foreign buyers have been shut out for the next 2 years, which will open up some availability for us locals. We also know that the mortgage rates are increasing incrementally and will affect people's ability to purchase. The 0.5% raise can have like a $3,200 effect on a $1 million house in a year. It's not a huge hit, but per month it will increase, and it will have an effect on people's pocketbooks. So even if prices fall, mortgage rates will still make it expensive to buy. So it's kind of like, leveling out one or the other. They think they're raising the mortgage rates in order to, slow down the market, but at the same time, they're also cutting out the foreign buyers who will also open up the availability. And there's, of course, many other factors, and Navtaj mentioned some at the beginning as well. But we are seeing a slowdown in some areas in the GTA, while others are still going strong. So the more renovated a home is, the quicker it's going to sell. While the ones that need a little TLC will sit on the market for 4 weeks or more. Now, as far as investors go, we're looking for those ones that need a little TLC. Sometimes not, but quite often we are, so that we can fix them up and flip them or fix them up and rent them out. And so, there might be a few more opportunities available because of what's happening in the market. One way to maximize on your property as an investor. For example, I'm working with a client who's running, and we're running the numbers on a property to decide which route to take. Initially, they were looking at single or duplexes, then started considering commercial properties or multifamily properties where they can maximize on their investment. So as an investor, you're going to put the same dollars in. So if your mortgage is, say, 500,000, it's 500,000 whether you're buying a single family residential or whether you're buying a duplex, a multiplex, or even a commercial property. If you're looking at that price range, I'm just using it as an example. So what is your return on investment? If your goal is to fix and flip, that's one strategy. If your goal is to fix and hold, or you don't have to fix and just hold, then you want to make sure that you're maximizing on your return. So having multiple sources of income on the same property is always something great to consider when you are purchasing an investment property. So that is it for this evening. Thank you so much for letting me go early, and enjoy the rest of all of these trainings you're going to get tonight. Thank you, Nav. I think Navtaj stepped away for a few minutes.
Where's everybody else? So someone's getting the screens ready. So this is good.
Okay, good. Is Navtaj there?
So he just asked a question. What is going to happen in 2022? Please reply in chat. Would rate hikes could cause Canadian real estate market correction or worse on April 13th, 2022?
Anybody have a feedback, please feedback in the chat. Let us know, hey, whatever your opinion is, because your opinion is very valuable. It doesn't matter. There's nothing such thing as right or wrong. Everything's correct. So whatever you think what's going to happen, if the interest rate go up by half a point, 1 point, or sorry, a quarter point or half a point, and how long before. And there's something else you should also be aware. From tomorrow on, doesn't matter whether increase the interest rate by 0.25% or 0.5%, this will be the highest rate ever from last 10 years in Canadian history. 10 years. So there's going to be keep rising for a while to come to catch up to inflation. And it may gonna affect our market to some degree. And again, everybody has its own opinion. But again, we will know tomorrow morning though. We're gonna go back to the original thing and I'm gonna get back to our friends here to begin with. David Grossman, are you there, my friend? This is the interest rate from last 12 years, by the way. If you notice that on May 31st, 2010 on the screen, what was the target date? And if you go back, this is the information obtained from the Bank of Canada. So whenever there was certain changes from last 12 years, it's important to know exactly where we were and where we are heading towards, by the way. And there's something else I also like to share with you. And this is something, is part of the presentation for him. 1981, when I got into business in August of 1981, the first mortgage rates were 22.7%. And we were able to make money. So if the interest rate 4, 5, 6% excites you, trust me, we've been there 4 or 5 times worst, and the market was still going. There'll be always an action regardless, though. David Grossman, are you there, sir? I guess not. So he's going to be joining us shortly. In the meantime, I have another gentleman. I'd like to bring him in quickly. Tonight, we're going to be discussing a lot about budget and how does it affect you. And also, before I go any further, who pay the most highest amount of taxes across Canada, by the way? Which province you have to be in to be paying the highest taxes? You'll be shocked. And which one is the least ones? Again, I'm gonna have Jerry Hogenhout to share with you that what exactly happens, how does it happen, and how the interest rates are different though. Gary, are you there, my friend?
I am.
Okay, good. Before you go any further, I'd like anybody to please focus on, if you want to reply to this in chat box. Would applying to a sales tax to pre-construction assignment will slow down the Canadian real estate market? Actually, this has been there since, I believe, 2004. And Gary is going to help us out to understand what does this new budget mean to investors? What does that mean to flippers who's assigning a deal? There are 2 types of properties we flip. Number 1 are the pre-construction, and the other one, which are resale properties. So Jerry, it's all yours, my friend.
Thank you, Nav. Welcome, everyone. Good to see out here tonight. So yeah, good topic. I guess we just had our federal budget recently, and certainly it really, I got to be honest, it was a little bit disappointing. Not much was there. It was supposed to be an affordable housing budget. Not a whole lot was done for that. And of course, they're trying to use the budget to slow down the market a bit. And so they attacked people like us who like assigning deals and fix and flips. So, they tried to, put some roadblocks in the way. So as far as assignments, so again, as Nav said, we fix and flip pre-construction or after closing. Obviously, before closing, it would be an assignment of the deal. The one thing they did on that was basically say anything that's assigned now is HST taxable. And it can't really, it's not much of a big surprise. It technically, in the past, it was HST taxable if you assigned a deal and your gross revenues for the entire year of all your income was over $30,000. That assignment was HST taxable anyway. So now they're just basically confirming what was already in place prior to that. So that wasn't a real big announcement, I didn't think. They seemed to make it a bigger announcement than I thought it really was. How does that affect assignments? Well, the cost of assignments will go up, but I don't think for 1 second that adding HST to an assignment is going to really impact the buy or sell decision. If anything, I think making such an announcement should better prepare us for what we do, which is, among other things, assign and fix and flip. For example, the assignment income, we should always be trying to utilize a corporation and their 12% tax rate. So if anything, making such an announcement just reemphasizes the things that I've always said, that if you're going to, any purchase offer I put in, and I suggest to people, put it in trust. Okay, it just means we don't know who's going to close the property yet. So if you are assigning it, you have the ability to utilize a corporation for that income. So, if you're signing a deal for $50,000, now the new budget says it's HST taxable, so we need to add HST. But we can channel that income through a corporation. And, we've always been able to do that. But certainly, again, if that offer, the original offer, again, when we assign a deal, it hasn't even closed yet. If that original offer is put in trust, then we have a mechanism available to channel that income through our corporations, which is certainly a way for us all to save money. And on that note, too, utilizing a corporation, when we switched to fix and flips, because that was another thing they targeted in the budget. So basically, the new rule now is any fix and flips within 12 months is going to be straight income. So in the past, we could argue that it was either a principal residence or a capital gain, which is only half taxable. So they've kind of defined that now any fix and flips that we do within a 12-month period from the purchase, from the closing, is going to be straight business income. Once again, all the more reason that if that is something we're going to do, we should try to channel that income through a corporation and pay our 12% tax. So again, to me, it's just kind of highlighted the opportunities that have been in existence previously. Now, there are exemptions on the fix and flip. When they say anything that's fixed and flipped within 12 months is going to be business, there are exceptions, such as, if you can convince them that, hey, the fix and flip was not just a business decision, it was for personal reasons, a death in the family, a disability, a birth, a new job, a divorce. If those are the things that caused you to fix and, to flip the property that you just bought, they will take that into consideration. So it's not necessarily always a straight business income if you flip a house in 12 months. What they've really done is, I've preached before, I've always told people, you know, the income tax act, half of it is written in black and white and half of it is written in gray. The black and white section, very clear what we can do and what we can't do. In the gray area, you know, it's interpretive. We have some room to be creative and, you know, interpret things to our advantage. So they've really, between the assignments that they discussed in the budget and the fix and flip, they really moved some of the items in the gray area over more to the black and white area. Again, like assignments with HST and the fix and flips with the income. Now the fix and flips, the 12 months straight business income, that's going to start for any properties that are sold on or after January 1st, 2023. Okay, so it's coming at us. So that's really the items that affect us in our group as far as what we do, as far as assignments and fix and flips. Nothing really. Again, if anything, it just reemphasizes to channel the income that we do earn from assignments or fix and flips into a corporation to utilize that 12% tax rate. So other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of exciting stuff for us. There's a lot of other stuff I could go through on the budget. Again, I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time going through the budget. I don't think that's what tonight is for. But those are the two areas where it affects us. And as people have, as Randy has said, and as Nav said, we're looking forward to tomorrow to see what happens with the interest rates. My prediction is it's going to go up 0.5 point. And then it could go up further again in future interest rates. So be curious to see what happens. But anyway, that's my take on the budget. And again, it wasn't really too exciting. I think it's very disappointing for people that were looking for more information towards affordable housing and helping first-time home buyers. They really didn't do a whole lot. Yes, they doubled the home. There was a home buyer credit. There was a tax-free savings account set up, but that's really, you know, we're looking for more substantial things. We're looking for things like allowing people to use their RSPs to help first-time home buyers. We're looking for things like having first-time home buyers be able to deduct their interest. These are things that are going to help first-time home buyers. So anyway, I was a bit disappointed in the substance of the budget, but anyway, that's just a quick summary of how it applies to the things that affect us. So now, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Again, thank you for doing what you do. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you, Jerry. By the way, Jerry Hoganhout is one of the only one Canadian who is licensed in all 5 different separate regulated investment marketplaces, by the way. He's, I will call him a brother now. We have never met, by the way. It's so because of all this lockdown. But again, this gentleman is a wealth of knowledge. When it comes to taxes, he's the man. If you're planning on setting up a corporation, please speak to him. And again, the phone number is right there. And make sure you also subscribe to his newsletter, CanadianInvestmentServices.ca. You'll be glad that you heard him, you met him, and what he can do for you. You'll be in for a surprise and shock. A majority of Canadians who are buying, investing, are not doing it properly to begin with because of the liability and the taxation. I'm going to ask you a question to all of you, and if you want to reply, you can reply in the chat. I can ask Jerry to hang on because he has to go, and he has another meeting tonight, but I can ask him to hang in for a few minutes. How many of you already have a corporation when you are investing in real estate, and how many of you are doing it under your own name? That you're buying apart from your principal residence, if you're doing investments or buying other properties under your own name. And this is where Jerry can come in and help you out. Why pay capital gain when you don't have to? And that's the question Jerry can answer it for you. You can set up a timing with him. His phone number is right there. Set up a timing with him. You'll be happy. The value you're going to get out of him will be priceless. You can pay $1,000. I know people have paid $500,000, $1 million in capital gain when they don't have to. This is where the education, experience, knowledge, and top-notch talent make a difference to you. Jerry, thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate it, my friend, your time.
Thank
Now,
you very
having
much.
said that, top talent, we can also bring one of the top-notch real estate lawyer tonight here for you. Okay, I think we are going to miss one of our good friend, but we're going to bring one another top-notch lawyer from Toronto, Jordan Green. Some of you might have seen him or heard about him. Tonight, he's here to share something very special with us.
Navtaj, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you loud
Navtaj,
and
can you
clear.
hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, you're breaking up really bad, just so you know.
Okay, how's that one now?
Yeah, you're really breaking up.
Okay. Jerry was okay when he was
It's,
speaking?
it's loud and
Yes.
clear to me, Teresa. Maybe check your connection.
Yeah, I can hear him well as well.
All right, thank you.
I can hear as well.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Loud
Well-
and clear.
Excellent, thank you. Well, let's bring in our good friend here, Jordan Green. Jordan, are you here, my friend?
Yes, thank you, Navtaj.
All right, Jordan, it's all yours.
Thank you. And it's nice to see everyone here today, familiar faces and some new faces. I think you're all in for a treat and just to learn from what everyone, the insight from, these interesting times that we're in. And as you would say, Navtaj, maybe some spicy times that we can all enjoy. So as any lawyer, we'll start off with, I want to be clear. I am a lawyer. I'm not necessarily your lawyer unless we have a signed retainer agreement. Anything I present today or talk about, it's not legal advice. And it's important that at all stages, you obtain advice from your own lawyer. So today I wanted to go on the same vein that everyone's been discussing about the recent budget, but also some changes to the provincial rules, which seem to have happened much quieter, but might even be have a larger impact on what's going to happen. So the recent budget was released, and there appears to be some significant changes to residential real estate. Whether or not this is just saber rattling and it'll go quietly, or it's going to be a major change, we'll soon see. Clearly, they've outlined some new policies which are meant to assist with real estate affordability. And while the federal government is now getting involved, this is something that the provincial governments have been doing for years, and some municipalities have been trying to get involved with. So, I propose that the federal proposals that were entered in the budget should be considered with the provinces that have been doing this for many years to see what the impact is going to be. Some of the largest things that we've seen in the federal budget are that there's supposed to be a ban on foreign money that's going to be used to purchase non-recreational residential property for 2 years. So, how do you define the difference between recreational, residential, and other types of property? And again, will this stop money coming in through mortgages? Can foreign money still be loaned? And then more interestingly, if a mortgage is used from foreign money to invest, what happens if there's a mortgage enforcement, if there's a foreclosure? That creates an ownership interest through the courts. It doesn't seem like the federal budget is really addressing something like that. So it might not be a complete bar to foreign money in residential real estate. And then also, what type of residential units are we going to include? These large apartments have typically been excluded, and it might continue to be that way. And I know that's something that's attractive to many of the investors here. We've heard Jerry talked earlier that house flippers are going to be subject to full taxations, and yes, putting things through a corporation is a good idea. In some instances, some sellers, some builders won't enable you to do that. So, we have to look at the actual rules and the regulations, see how it's going to be affected. Is it going to be from the date that the original agreement was entered into? Is it going to be from the date that it was closed? Sometimes some of these new builds, I have some clients that are still closing on deals that they signed back in 2016 right now, 2015, but they're still waiting to see what would happen. It'll be interesting to see, if someone can still assign the property who bought it 7 years ago without these different tax implications. Assignment sales are going to be aren't going to track to HST and GST. As Jerry mentioned, it probably already is fully applicable on the majority of these new construction deals anyways. How it's going to apply to someone buying a resale property sort of while it's in escrow, so to speak, or while it's in the title search state, that might be the effect. But there always are ways to structure things. If you take time, if you speak to your accountant, you speak to your lawyer, you decide on ways to structure the deal the most effective way from the get-go. Even as a corporation, it might be that you have single entity corporations where shares are being sold in order to affect changes in ownership. The government's also talked about, a home buyer's bill of rights, so an end to blind bidding, maybe a legal right to home inspection, and more transparent sale history, prices of sale history. But I mean, that's readily available if you're working with some of the great realtors, that we have here today. I mean, they'll find that all for you anyways. There's some vague proposals to make buildings greener and more affordable. And that might be an opportunity for investors when you're fixing it, to fix the house in a greener way than you maybe wouldn't have ordinarily considered. There's talk about a $500 payment for housing affordability, but really for investors, personally, that's probably a minor thing to take into account. The government wants to double construction of new homes and first-time home buyer tax credits, which really, I mean, until we see what it is, with prices where they are, those numbers really are quite nominal as to what they're doing. What might be interesting, though, is this new tax-free home savings account. So it's a mix of a TFSA and the RSP, and they say it's going to be a max of $40,000 at $8,000 a year. I'm very interested to see how that's going to apply. I mean, is this only going to apply to first-time home purchases? What about if you want to upgrade your existing home? What if you're in one home right now and you want to upgrade, but your existing house you're going to keep and you're going to rent out, or you're going to change its use? We need to see functionally what's going to happen here. And then from an investment standpoint, does enabling first-time home buyers to save more then have the contrary effect? Are prices now going to go up because there's now more first-time home buyers who can save the down payment and are now ready to jump in? Now, so that was federal, and I'm still waiting to see practically how this is fully going to be implemented. But on March 29th, the Ontario government quietly released some changes to the non-resident speculation tax, and they did it overnight. So they released this on the 29th, and as of the 30th, they made this change that the tax, so non-residents of Ontario in the Golden Horseshoe used to be taxed 15%. It's now 20%, and it's now not just on the Golden Horseshoe, it's province-wide. There also used to be rebates for international students and foreign workers, which has been removed. So we always ask, who is a foreign entity? So obviously it's a foreign individual, and it's, obviously also, or understandably, a foreign corporation. So if it's a German corporation or American corporation, they're clearly foreign. But a Canadian corporation that's owned by foreign individuals isn't necessarily a foreign corporation. So some of the holdings that I've had from the ministry, that I've received in writing their opinions, is that as long as the shares are owned no more than 50%, so as long as control is not maintained greater than by non-residents, it's considered a Canadian corporation as far as it concerns the non-resident speculation tax. As a little tip, whenever dealing with the non-resident speculation tax, if you're ever uncertain, I always suggest to get an opinion letter written from the ministry. They're willing to do it, even when it's clear as to what happens. The amounts are just so great. On a $1 million house, the potential tax liability is $200,000. Even if you're right at the end, you don't want to have to get into litigation with the government to enforce something that you are entitled to and to enforce your interpretation. If you have a simple, opinion letter written by the ministry, it just settles everything nice and cleanly. It's a small price of admission for a lot of security. And then the other thing to consider is what type of properties are subject to the non-resident speculation tax. So it's residential properties that are 1 to 6 units. So if you buy a 12-plex apartment building, that's not subject to the non-resident speculation tax. So, I mean, that might be something that could be attractive to consider to buy, to fix up, and you can sell, to non-residents of Canada. And then, we have to look at alternative ways to structure the deal that a lot of my clients have done in the past with this non-resident speculation tax, and it's going to apply with the federal budget as well. Do we use mortgage lending to structure a deal if there might be a tax implication? If someone's currently a resident of Canada, but they're planning on moving, you have a job offer overseas and you need to break your tax ties, maybe it's through mortgage lending, maybe it's through corporate ownership, maybe it's through a complex corporation that you can sell different classes of shares as you go to exit. Now, while I'm talking about Ontario and the non-resident speculation tax, I know many of you are from outside of Ontario or you've invested outside of Ontario. I'm only familiar with Ontario, but I often like to look at British Columbia, and that's because they seem to be some of the forerunners of many of these changes and many of these taxes that we see, because Vancouver had, the largest influx of foreign money, and then Ontario, and then it sort of spread across Canada. So we look, BC is currently suggesting some plans for a statutory cooling off period, which means, you can have a firm agreement of purchase and sale that any buyer might be able to just walk away from the deal. There might be a statutory right to a home inspection, to a financing condition. We're still waiting on details to see what they do. And then we'll, as it passes in BC, it might pass in the rest of the country. How would a cooling off period work? If someone walks away from a deal, is it just that they change their mind, that there's nothing wrong with the house? Is there going to be a fee for doing so? Is there going to be costs? Can they just do so willy-nilly? Does that create a risk where someone's offering lots of houses and they keep on getting cold feet? So it certainly is an interesting time, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen as we go forward, so that we can see how we can structure our deals in the most effective ways. Thank you, Navtaj.
All right, Jordan. By the way, there are two ways of contacting a lawyer. One is before, one is after. Now, what's the best way of contacting a lawyer? Before or after? Well, my opinion tells me before is much cheaper. After, the files remain open for years and years to go. So with all due respect, if you're contacting a lawyer, make sure you specialize in real estate. Jordan have a license in New York as well as Ontario. So those who are doing some stuff in Buffalo or New York State, he can help you out as well though. Again, word of wisdom, please contact the lawyer before. If it is after, it can be quite expensive. Just a word of wisdom. Thank you, Jordan. I hope you're going to be hanging around for a while today.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you a question and we're going to go into break rooms, and there will be 2 or 3 different break rooms where you're able to talk. And I have a request for you. Please ask the other person, how can you help them? How can you help other person? That will be helpful. And I want to have an answer from you. What is the one thing that rich Canadians do that poor people don't do? What's the one thing most of the very wealthy Canadians do, which poor people don't? And you can please put in the chat. And when we come back from the little break room, we're gonna have 3 different break rooms, by the way. There'll be about 15 to 16 or 17 people in each room. We're gonna have a little bit, about 8 minutes of conversation. We're gonna come back to the meeting. Then we'll continue. We're gonna have another break room and maybe another one. So this way you get to meet other people, share some, whatever you need to understand, and build the connections with each other. So before we go there, I think we should take a little break. And this break gonna be, we will be all going to different break rooms, by the way. These break rooms are for you to talk to each other. And it's gonna take about 60 seconds or a minute for you to be in that room. So please feel free to join. welcome back. I hope you guys everybody get a chance to speak to somebody.
Yeah, I did. And I just wanted to thank Jordan for his answer. It helped me a lot.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's what Jordan's here for. All right. Did anybody want to give me an answer? What's the one thing that Canadians can do, rich people do, what poor people don't?
OPM.
OPM is very good. Anybody else like to share something else?
Find a way to keep what they already have. So it's not how much they have, but how much they get to keep through
Excellent. What I'm talking about, one
minimizing
particular-
taxes.
Yeah, defer taxes. Excellent.
Probably
Good answer.
never stopping.
Number one thing is the high income skill. If you can visualize yourself making a lot of money on an hourly basis, a lot of people come to us and ask them the same question, and the question remains the same. It's your habit and your thoughts. Do you have high income skill? People say, I'm an engineer. Okay, you make out of 60,000, 80,000, 100,000, 200,000 a year. Do you think with your income you can make $2 to $4 million a year? So what rich people do, always polishing up their skill to make a lot more money in much faster time. High income skill is the name of the game for life. And I see people struggling for 45 years of their life. And I hate to say that I run a small group of seniors. And after 45, 50 years of work, they're practically living on a welfare. And I ask them a question, where did you do wrong? You say, well, we paid too much taxes. I understand that. But where did you do wrong after 45 years of work? You're still dead broke. I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, this and that, whatever it is, say, do you think that you had the high income skill? And that makes a huge difference, by the way, just in my point of view. You don't have to agree with me, but it's just opinion. I respect that, hey, everybody's opinion is valuable. So tonight, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna go through a couple of things with you tonight about the budget. What are the loopholes? How you benefited, how do you read it? We saw everybody talking about the budget. As a real estate investor, how do you look into it? How do you benefit from it? There's nothing we can do about the laws, but the best thing that we can have a very good understanding. And one of the worst things what we do is as follows. In my opinion, again, my opinion is we pay way too much taxes. We pay way too much taxes. How can we legally, morally, ethically pay a lot less taxes? And as I said earlier, what Jerry was saying, what Jordan was saying, again, how do you invest your real estate money? Are you doing it under corporation, under your own name? And are you taking all the benefits from all the tools available by the law? So here is a little disclaimer about it's legal to operate a broker, real estate, mortgage, or securities. Make sure you have a license. Make sure before you sign anything, you have an attorney to help you out, and make sure everything what you do is correct. We're gonna go through the break room. We're gonna move into the. This is something else I'd like to share with you. This is another gentleman. I was really inspired by this person. He passed away, Leonard Lipfield. Anybody heard his name before? He built 75,000 houses across Canada. When he came into Canada, he came as a refugee. Didn't know a word of English. And he built the empire ship. And one thing he will say, I'll remember, most of us remember that, he said, they don't kill you in this country for going bankrupt. Things happen, life happens. And he will keep taking chances. And he will always say, I have nothing to fear. If I survive the Holocaust, nothing to be afraid. It's quite an inspirational story. And look what's happening right now in the world. And people out there who are utilizing one thing, I'm afraid, timing is not right. But here are those precious lessons from fellow Canadians who came into this country, became Canadian, and built a legacy for themselves, 75,000 houses. Is that interesting? All right, moving forward, we're going to be talking about thank you for today, God. Thank God we are alive. So let's talk about Ikigai. A lot of time I always talk about it. Do you know what your Ikigai is all about? What do you love? What you're really good at it? What the universe needs it? Which you will get paid for it. This is your Ikigai. This is the terminology from Japanese people. And these people live over the age of 100 without any medical help. They're happy what they do. So you can put in your chat and you can say it if you like to share with you. Are you happy what you do for a living? Are you happy what you do for a living? Are you happy the skills you have? Or would you like to improve your skill? And you can ask the universe or ask us, how can we help you to move forward? That's all about Ikigai though. So information we're going to be sharing with you, all the information has been taken from Stat Canada or Bank of Canada or other reasonable resources. So information I'll be sharing with you, all these resources are given to you upfront though. So here is the federal budget. And I'm going to tell you exactly how the budget says and what are the loopholes. Would that be okay with you guys? If any one or two people want to turn the mic on, you're welcome to. Any superstars want to do that? That'll be great.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. So what they're saying, the New Year two-year ban, what does that mean in plain English? Now they're saying, hey, you cannot buy single family homes or so on. Oh boy, 2-year ban. Now, but again, they do not create recreational properties. Are the cottages included? No. And again, there's another thing. If you are a Canadian partner who has 51% ownership of the corporation, can you stop them? No. Can they buy recreational properties or other buildings? Yes, they can. Majority of the foreign buyers are not too much into single family homes. In a way, it's a good thing. It's less than 1%. To me, it is like a PR. I don't see much value in it, my personal opinion is. But again, it makes average Canadian very happy. Oh, foreigners cannot buy real estate. Yes, they will. As a matter of fact, foreigners intend to invest more money, and we always look for foreign money to come into Canada in different businesses though. Higher taxes for people who sell their home within a year. This is a situation for speculative investors. They are not real estate investors, they're speculators. These Canadians are know only one thing. Hey, I got money. Should I invest in stock market or should I go real estate? And they are the one who's paying majority of the time, they're paying capital gains. Their plan is, hey, what's the appreciation? And they look into taxes later on though. And having said that, what is the loophole? Well, real estate investors are going to wait for a year or more, depending exactly what the deal is all about. And some of them do not have to flip right away. Certain things can be flipped and assigned if it is not a brand new houses. Now, anybody who bought a house and sold in less than a year, especially condo, I hate to share with you, the chances are you will be audited. So make sure your paperwork is in place. Make sure you have able to back up everything what you have. And what they are after is not only capital gain. They're after HST or GST if you happen to be in different provinces. So you might have to pay extra 13%. So recently I came across somebody who bought a piece of property from a builder for $500,000, sold it for $600,000. He made $100,000 profit. Well, that's not true. By the time he paid the real estate fees, which is 4%, that's $24,000. Then he has to pay HST on $600,000. That's the $78,000. Did he make money or did he lose money? Anybody like to share with that? If you have to pay HST on $600,000 plus real estate commission plus legal fees.
He lost money.
Yeah.
Now, on the surface, it appeared to be he made money, correct? Yeah, not that fast. And the chances are, if that person have bought more than one property, two properties, or all his investment plus arranging of financing or all the deposit he put for 2-3 years, and he got no interest on for 3-4 years. If you look into all this consideration, those speculative investors have to take care about several different things. If they were doing it under a corporation, different ball game altogether. Very different ball game altogether. If you're doing under your personal name, oh my Lord. And as a matter of fact, mostly speculative investors do not have enough skill or education to go through the process. And later on, when they realize it, they brag about, I made $200,000. Really? Excellent. And how about the tax portion, HST portion? So, no, I don't pay HST. I'm sorry. It's a brand new house. You're reselling it. Okay, buddy, wait for the audit. I'm not want to scare you, but this is the hardcore facts. And the law is made for everybody. It's equal law, not for me separately or somebody else separately. Lack of education will cost you a lot more money. How many of you agree with me? Lack of not having enough knowledge about tax is going to cost you a lot more money.
Agreed.
100% agree.
And it is very painful, very, very painful. I've seen it many times over from the last 42 years. And people say, okay, calm down. So this is another thing. They are saying, now, if you want to even renovate, the law was before that if you do not do any substantial renovation of less than 90%, or if you have not changed everything from inside out, which is 90% renovation, then you have to pay HST when you sell the property, or the new buyer have to pay HST. Now, they are now talking different from May 7th, and I wonder, would that be worth it? And there is a clarification to it, and I did not get enough clarification from the CRA, even though we have spoken to a couple of CPAs. If you are buying a rundown property today, let's say you bought a property for $1 million, you spend $40,000-$50,000 on it. Now, this is not an excessive renovation. When you sell it, are you supposed to collect HST? It's a resale property. Well, there's going to be a certain exception to this, by the way. There is going to be, who is going to renovate all the rundown properties? That's the question. I believe that this is going to be clarified soon, to the best of my knowledge. Again, this is my opinion. It's not advice. It's a strictly opinion only. It's not a fact. That I believe that flipping assignment will remain the same. All the income you generate will become a business income. Make sure you're doing it under a corporation. Number two, if you're renovating it, make sure you're able to satisfy, hey, I did not do renovation, I did the repairs. Please write on the word. Renovation is a long-term. Repair is short-term.
What's the definition of repair? Is it like any value, like how much money can go over or under?
Okay, let me ask you, I'm going to give you a good analogy for you, sir. Your car breaks down. What do you do for the car? You send for renovation or repair?
Repair.
So you can write off on the same year, correct?
Yeah.
Same thing with the houses. If something is broken and it's a repair or a renovation?
Repair.
Thank you. So please write it down, the word in your, never, ever mention the word renovation in your tax return. Utilize the word repairs. The tenant left the broken doors, broken drywall, broke the kitchen, broke the washroom, we repair it. Don't say renovated it, even on the listing. Be careful, because the CRA have access to all the registry offices all across Canada. And the moment you say renovated it, you could be red flagged and you'll be audited. Okay, moving forward, the next thing. Again, they are saying as of May 7, 2022, any brand new houses, brand new residential properties, condos, If you flip them within 1 year's time, you're subject to GST and HST. It has been there since 2014. It has been there from day one. There's nothing new to it, but now they made it very clear. If you are into pre-construction, by a fix and pre-construction flips only, you are subject to GST and HST if you have sold the property in less than a year. Again, make sure you get advice from your CPA in writing. If you are not sure, please check with the Canada Revenue Agency directly. They don't bite you. At least you have something in writing. And I would say majority of investors, so-called investors who have never taken a proper education, do not have a proper lawyer, do not even proper have a CPA, have never have spoken to CRA. They are so afraid about the taxes. They make the biggest mistakes. And it's not funny that a day goes by that I have a call from somebody, oh, enough that I don't know you, but you referred to me by somebody, I'm in trouble with the taxes. I said, well, lack of knowledge. 80% of your income can be taken away from you. There are 200 different types of taxes. If you are not structuring your business with a very knowledgeable realtor, a lawyer, and the CPA, and you think they cost money, trust me, they are much cheaper than paying taxes. A legal advice is never expensive. CPA is never expensive. Taxes are. Just my opinion only. Thank you. Now, here is about tax saving account. You have to be under the age of 40, by the way. There is a restriction. You can only save up to $40,000, $8,000 starting next year. Now, do you think the property, the average house price in Canada is approximately $800,000? Do you think in the next 4 years, the house price is going to remain the same or come lower? It's barely 5%. And I have a doubt, this is my loophole, that by the time they save it, it may not be enough down payment. Okay, if even people who can save that kind of money, it will be not much. In my opinion, again, just like other plan they made so far, they don't work that well. Next one, this is a good one. The first time credit from $5,000 to $10,000, you save about $1,500. This is a simple saving. It's not a lot of money, but again, it's better than nothing. Instead of you saving about $400 or $750, you're gonna save about $1,500 if you are a first-time home buyer. They're saying about $4 billion. Okay, here is the question for you. What happened 2017 when you planned, 10-year plan we have? Hello, bureaucrats, policymakers. Now, finally, after 1996, this is the first time we have a Minister of Housing on the federal level. Now, what happened if you are 5-year-old? And this is government keep introducing new programs, and you question what happened to old programs and how they are going to create 100,000 units. These units are controlled not by the federal, not by the provinces, done by municipalities. So there are 3 or 4 different levels of it. And again, I believe it's going to be taxpayers' money, which will be your money, to create 100,000 net units. It sounds great, but again, just like anything other politics, I do believe there is some truth to it, but by the time we realize it, we're still going to have issue with supply. Next thing they want to talk about, which is the good one, I like that one, about creating a secondary suite for a person who is a senior or a disabled. All they're going to give you 15% credit up to $50,000. So this is reasonable. I think this could be very effective. As we know that we have sandwich generations. At one time in Canada, we used to have a saying, when you turn 16, you leave home. Now it's other way around. You leave home when you're 40 or 50. In each family, there are 3 generations: parents, grandparents, and grandkids, sandwich families. Now, we have some other issues as we go along because inflation, the cost, and the wages, they are not in sync altogether. And now there are a lot of seniors who are supposed to retire because of this COVID, because of the lockout. They're saying, oh, we are not moving to senior citizen home. We don't want to go to assisted living. And they're staying kaput at homes. And second thing, what is creating also a problem is as follows: 2030, next 8 years down the road, every 4th Canadian is going to become what? Senior. So there's going to be a lot of responsibility on old age pension plans, CPP, and all the supplement income. And this is going to create a problem. Now, we are already facing a huge crunch of labor. 1 million jobs available in Canada. Over 1 million jobs. That's the Stat Canada say. I'm going to share the figure with you shortly. It all came from Stat Canada, by the way. This is a good credit, by the way, home accessibility tax credit up to $20,000. This is for those seniors, where they have to make adjustments. There is a program called RAMP, R-A-M-P. Please write it down if you are not writing it down. If I can ask one of the superstars to put in the chat box, please, that'd be great. A program is called RAMP, R-A-M-P, Residential Assistance Modification Program. Residential Assistance Modification Program. And you can get from 25 to 75,000 free money from the federal. And this is to justify for those seniors who are utilizing now a ramp or a chair, or they're disabled, or they're not able to walk, and they need to lower down the kitchen sink, as well as the kitchen cabinet, as well as the washroom, and they need all kind of assistance in the washrooms and so on. This program is available as we speak. This is something interesting. Neither a federal or provincial government ever built a house, by the way. It's all done by the municipalities, by the way. Again, the money comes in, and I have shared with you in the past how the money works. Federal taxes, provincial taxes go to region, and region give to municipalities though. So there are about 4 different levels when a grant is being issued. And by the time who's going to build the houses is always on a municipality level though. Least, but not the least, I'm sorry, I can't read it. Home buyer bill of right. This is something else. It's not 100% clear yet how they are going to do it. I strongly believe what Jordan said earlier, that they're going to introduce a new clause which is applicable to when you buy a brand new home. It's called cool down period for 10 days. And they may gonna introduce this thing to resale properties, by the way. This has been aggressively pursued by BC for the time being. Nova Scotia have introduced their own laws. I'm gonna be sharing with you shortly. And Ontario have done something because Doug Ford is up for election on June 24th. Then we have also elections coming for the municipal level, for the John Tory. All the municipalities are going to be electing the new mayors as well as the new council. So there are going to be a lot of small changes to it, and just watch and see what the different parties do to manipulate or to form some sort of incentive to vote for them. Again, these are all political things, and these things play all the time regardless though. So how about the critics about this budget, by the way? Is it all smoke and mirrors? Well, we will see. Now, here's the deal. In 2015, since 2015, last 7 years, an average house have doubled its value. And when it comes to Toronto, 28% of appreciation every year. Is it something which is sustainable? That's the question we asked in 74. That's the question we asked in 83, 89. We asked the same question in 97, same thing 2006 and 2017. So those who have been around for a while knows that market goes up and market goes down, or sometimes it affects. The only drawback in this economy is number one is inflation. Number two is the rising interest rate. And the house prices are fairly high And that is going to somehow adjust the market. And those who have not seen it, that our inventory has gone up by 43% from February to March. The resale properties has gone up quite a bit. The prices have not dropped that much down, but a very minor dip, not much of a dip. But now the properties are staying in the market for a lot longer period of time, by the way. So here is another question for all of you, if you like. Are pre-construction assignment sales are fueling the Canadian real estate speculation market? Please share your opinion in the chat.
No.
If you notice that every time there's a pre-construction project comes in, there's a lineup of hundreds of people. And if you ask majority of the people, what are you doing it? Why are you buying this one? Oh, I'm gonna flip it. But again, things are changing. But again, assumption can be different. Everybody have a different opinion based upon their personal experiences. And I will be sharing as this information become available through Stat Canada or a source which we think is pretty reliable. As we said earlier, we like to share facts with you.
To my father. All I remember.
We share the facts with you and also listen to everybody's opinions. Fact remain the fact. Opinion can be variable based upon individual and their personal experiences though. So as I said earlier about the property prices, the selling properties have slightly dipped down. Inventory has gone up. In March was totally different month altogether. And the biggest date in the history again will be this year, will be tomorrow, April 13th. How much difference does it gonna make? I strongly believe it's not about the difference price. It just create a buzz, a fear, something unknown. What happened in the interest rate go up by half a point or quarter point? If they keep raising half a point, what the US is doing, what the New Zealand is doing. Now, we follow, majority of the Canadian follow the New Zealand structure. New Zealand's interest rate is 5% now. If you want to know exactly what policy you're going to be coming in, start watching something what New Zealand is doing or some other countries are doing, and we will be reflecting quite a bit about all the policy procedures and interest rate based upon US, because we are 1/10 of their population, and we intend to follow what the US does because US intend to control majority of the economy, and they are one of the biggest our business partners. Moving forward, Kitchener-Waterloo price fell slightly, not much of it, but 5.6%. Again, this area has been fairly hot, and now they're saying the number of sales are dropping. And it seems like some of the speculators might be stepping out, or some people say they can't afford it. If the interest rate goes up by 1%, your payments increase by 10%. If the interest rate goes up by 1%, your income goes up by 10%. There is something else, hidden factor, I'm going to be sharing with you shortly. Let me just share with you quickly. This is the good news about Canada, about Toronto. Toronto became the third largest tech hub in North America because we supply the cheapest labor. If you have IT professional in San Francisco, and we have the same IT person doing the same job in Canada, they are paying almost 1/2 of the salary, plus they're paying in Canadian dollars. So Canada has become a pretty safe haven for Americans. A lot of American companies are shifting. A lot of things are happening from Halifax all the way to Calgary to Vancouver, where Toronto intend to become an extension of Silicon Valley, by the way. We have a lot more job openings here than anywhere else when it comes to artificial intelligence, AI. And this is gonna be the future, by the way. There's a lot of things also happening in Windsor. They introduced something new. We're gonna be building batteries. There's gonna be $3 billion investment, creating about 2,500 jobs down there. Now the economy is shifting. We also have a shift from retailing. And now even there's a talk about how this new disruption is going to disrupt real estate market. And I'll be sharing with you how the disruption is going to impact you. Now, there are new companies coming in, and there's a website called unreserved.com where you can bid. It's open bid, and you know who is bidding against you and what are the prices are and what is the minimum and so on. I strongly believe with the next 2.5 or 3 years time, our industry as a real estate, how we market it, how we buy it, how we sell it, and it's going to become a lot more transparent though. Moving forward, we gained a lot of jobs in Canada, by the way. Last month, we gained about 72,000 jobs, by the way. And now we are up and up when it comes to employment, by the way. This is something else about home prices gained by province, by the way. If you notice that when it comes to BC and Ontario, they are the front runners. It used to be others, but again, there's a new project about Hibernia. Now we're going to be starting pulling oil from the ocean. This is in the Newfoundland, by the way. The new project's been approved. It's going to be effective as of 2028. It's going to take 6 years to build it because we are going to have some major issues. This war with Russia and Ukraine is creating a chaos when it comes to oil and gas. It's affecting the whole global economy. And now all of a sudden, we are looking at alternative methods. Instead of getting oil from Russia, can we get it from Iran? Can we get from Venezuela? Should we be doing the oil sands in Canada? Should we go back to Edmonton again or Calgary again and start pulling our oil, which is totally different? And since the administration in the US is, again, Biden, he doesn't want the pipelines. When Trump was there, he was in favor of it. How does it all affect? Here's my opinion. Alberta is going to boom for next 7 years. The cheapest prices right now in Canada are Alberta and Saskatchewan. And if you notice that within 1 year's time, the appreciation of real estate is 20% in Calgary and Edmonton. And Calgary is the leading one. Edmonton is following up, by the way. You can still buy a detached home for $550,000, which I believe it will go up to $850,000 or $900,000 within the next year and a half time, or maybe 2 years time. They are going to create a lot of jobs there, by the way. Okay, moving forward, this is the Windsor, by the way. Windsor is gone crazy. Wonder why? Because look at the price in 2020 is $386,000. In 2 years' time, the prices have gone from $386 to $704, which is absolutely incredible, of 42%. Windsor, and I remember buying houses for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000. Again, so this is reached to a certain plateau where I believe that this is the highest we ever since, if you look at from 2013. Again, these are fact-based. Those who have invested in real estate in Windsor, hey, congratulations, you're still holding on to it. Is the time to download or unload? Hey, your choice. This is what the COVID have done, by the way. Prices are up by 44%. This is all the facts based upon the data we obtained. Moving forward, well, we have gone through this, sorry. Next one. Now, this is another stuff we have seeing it all the time, again and again and again. This builder in Burlington said, hey, listen, people have bought the condos in 2015. Now the condos are getting ready, and he wants $300,000 or more from those people, though. It's a big stuff in the headlines in the media. And question is it applicable? And yes, the builder have a clause in it, and he can utilize that, by the way. And that's something now they are going to come up with a new program or some sort of a new contract where builder can not increase the value. So like a contract. I remember in 2006 and 2008, I was in Calgary and we will buy a house, and the missing point is purchase price. So we will let you know. You're still buying a property without knowing what will be the purchase price, because there was so much demand for it though. Would that happen again? Maybe, maybe not. But again, this is something happening, by the way. There are 2 or 3 scenarios. There are 3, 4 builders in Ontario who are feeling the thing that they cannot even build it on the prices they committed, because the labor cost has gone higher, the levies are much higher, land development charges is much higher, and they cannot afford to build it. For them to make 20% profit, to make a profit, 20% profit, they have to raise $300,000-$400,000, by the way. Again, there are 2 sides of the stories, so be aware of it. Some people are stuck. We got a few phone calls. People say, would you like to buy my contract? And I say, who's the builder? And the moment you hear the certain builder's name, ADI Development, said, oh, no, thank you. Not for me. All right. This is what happened, and I like to share with you. When people say, oh, one day I'll invest in real estate. Those who did not invest in 2015, I believe they missed one of the best period of Canadian real estate appreciation. If you look at the property value from 1996 onward, 453% of appreciation in the last 25 years. That's really damn good appreciation. And again, if you happen to be a homeowner, that's absolutely tax-free money. Thank God we live in Canada. All right. Moving forward, what else are we going to talk? This is historic data, by the way, in case you want to know what were the prices in 1976 was 61,000. Now where we are in 2022, but $1.3 million. And if you look at some of the these are the facts, by the way. Whenever you are going to invest in real estate, if you talk to a realtor, please ask them to provide as much data as you can. You make up your mind based upon the facts. Realtors can have a lot of access, but most of the realtors are excellent people. That's my personal opinion. I love realtors. They're great people. Same thing with mortgage brokers. They provide excellent service if you know how to utilize them properly, and they can, majority of them are very good though. That's my personal opinion. You know, I may gonna sound biased, but I'm not, because to me, hey, they provide a great service. This is happening. The Toronto investors are looking for opportunities where we cannot have a cash flow in Toronto. 750,000 or 800,000 for 1-bedroom condo does not justify it. You can buy similar condos in Calgary for 250,000. I can enjoy the positive cash flow. So this is again another rush. This is a different direction now. I strongly believe that the market in Alberta is going to be attracting investors from all across Canada as well as overseas. Since 2015, the market did drop, the bottomed out. Our property value did drop by 30 to 40% down. Just imagine somebody bought a piece of property for $550,000 and they put $200,000 down. They got a mortgage of $350,000, and about a year and a half ago, their property was appraising for $300,000. They owe more money, plus the $200,000 is gone forever. Now the market is bouncing back. I strongly believe that this will be a good place to invest. Again, that's my opinion. Do your own research if you want to invest there, by the way. This is a program, majority of Canadians don't realize that. The program is called Homeownership Program. This is the free money. One must take advantage of it. These programs are available all across Canada, by the way. This is the city of Kingston. If you are interested in buying a first-time house for yourself, there's a possibility that you can get $44,000, which you do not have to ever pay back. Is that good or totally good? Is that good or totally very, very good?
Totally very, very good.
Totally very good.
That's amazing. Huh? You ain't got to ask me twice.
Very good, Uncle.
Welcome to Canada. Canada loves you, my friend. All right. There's another program available, by the way. This is funny. It's not in the presentation. I don't mean to offend anybody. How many of you are here from Brampton, Ontario?
Right here.
Only one person.
Here too.
Yes, sir, me too.
Three.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 or 5 people. Okay, do you know the city of Brampton is giving you $200 grant to kill the rats? There are too many rats there.
Define rats.
Yeah. Okay. Interpretation, my friend.
Exactly.
The ones in city. Well, it's a program available because there's a big problem down there. Number one is Brampton is a city of logistics, and it's like big warehouses. When you have big warehouses, all the goods and everything comes in, and with all those goods coming from different parts of the world brings certain issues, and certain infection, like it's becoming a big problem down there, and it's going into residential areas. Before that, it was all in the warehouses, and now it's peeping into everywhere. And where there is a new construction, I don't know if anybody is aware of it or not, developers or builders are required to put the mouse traps. Every time you dig ground, there'll be more rats out there. So because the Brampton is still going through a lot of growing pain, so the city have announced a grant that you hire somebody and the city will compensate you $200 if you have a pest control company utilizing certain type of pest control system.
Is that $200 monthly or like a one-time thing?
One time only, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you can just call the city of Brampton. Those who are not familiar with it, I have written many different books. These books are available for you tonight. 349 plus HST. One is about credit score, business grant, real estate grants. Those who are not familiar with real estate grants, please get to know them. You might be utilizing your own money where you don't have to. Same thing with the business. You're starting a corporation. Hey, money is available for you. Hire a Canadian, create a new job, create a job for yourself. Canada loves you. They will compensate you for creating a job. Canada create more jobs with small businesses like you and me than other large companies, by the way. So there's a money available for you. Canada encourage people to start your own business, by the way. Just thought I should share with you. This is typically what the house is going to look like, by the way. As I mentioned to you earlier today, and I'd like to share with you one more time, one of my students, I've known her for 40 plus years, got her piece of property on Sherburne about 24 years ago for $275,000. A builder came in, offered her $7 million. A small, tiny house. He's assembling all the land. It's called land assembly. And if you happen to be in downtown, anywhere in Ontario, especially south of Bloor, east of Islington, west of Parliament, in the Yellow Belt area, you happen to buy a corner property, you got yourself a multi-million-dollar profit. Let the profit happen 5 years, 10 years down the road, it will be over $10 million profit for you.
Can you say that again, please, Navtaj? Can you repeat this, please? Can you repeat this, please?
Yes. Anything west of Parliament, east of Islington, south of Bloor Street is called Yellow Belt area. These are the areas where when the city was built, they were allowed to put only 2-story, 2.5 stories. Now the city is going to eventually turn into that. If you have a single family home, you can go up to 6 stories high. So that's called Yellow Belt. And then we also have a green belt. And green belt exists in Canada, Ontario. This is the largest green belt in the universe, 350 kilometers long, by the way, where you cannot go and touch. You cannot build anything on it. I'd like to also share something with you tonight. This is something came as a bit of a perturbance, but again, I like to share other people's mistakes as well as my own mistakes. A gentleman bought a piece of property in the region of Niagara Falls. Thought he's got a great bargain. Property might be worth $120 or maybe $150, got it for $60,000. One thing this gentleman forgot to do, due diligence. Guess it's a lot size, typical 50 feet by 120 feet lot. Anybody can guess what's wrong with that property? It's a building lot.
Flood zone.
Thank you, sir. It is in the flood zone. You can't build anything on it forever. Never. And this is the mistake which is going to cost you a lot more money. And you can't get rid of the property anymore because you have to give full disclosure. Is that property worth anything? Maybe. Good for the dog. Good for a dog park. Or have some sort of a, I'm not sure if you're allowed to grow some vegetables there because subject to the flood. And this is going to bring me to part of my presentation tonight, as well as for the next couple of months, that we have to, things are changing a lot in Canada. Climate change affecting the real estate. Floods are everywhere. How many of you know that we have about 1 feet of snow close to Winnipeg last 2 or 3 days ago? A feet of snow. Well, maybe most of you may not be aware of it. That's okay. Another thing, I am doing a special program about negotiation. This program ready to go, by the way. Does anybody understand the terminology called carrot and sticks? How do you negotiate the carrot and sticks? Anybody like to share? What is a carrot and stick?
It's benefits and punishment, both.
What does the rabbit want? The rabbit wants a carrot, correct?
Yes.
But afraid of what? The stick. Exactly. You're right. Absolutely correct, sir. Thank you. So again, every time when you are negotiating, you're negotiating more than what you're aware of it. You negotiate with yourself, with your family, your kids, the co-workers. You're negotiating. And this is one of the skill. If you have it, you'll be surprised. You become more popular. You become a lot more successful. People around you are very happy because you create winners. You never negotiate to win. You negotiate to make other person feel like they have won, and you create a new friend, somebody who admires you. Majority of the realtors, please forgive me for saying that tonight, and again, I'm gonna ask forgiveness ahead of the time. We are the best negotiators. Hey, do you think if the home seller get to know that he's a loser, how does they feel? Please do not create a loser in any negotiation. It'll come back and bite you. And do it respectfully, tactfully, because you don't want to be a loser either, ever. So do not do something which you do not want it to happen to you. Just a point of view. All right. We have the cash home buyers. Anybody need to sell quickly? Let us know. Here's the number. We have a team, a bunch of very different investors. We have appetite to buy a couple of all kind of properties, from single family home to multi-unit to land to development to multi-units to commercials. Joint ventures. How many of you have money in RSP, TFSA, or in HELOC, which is not earning much money? So please speak to a bunch of directors here. We call superstars tonight. We're going to have a break room pretty soon. Speak to them. Hey, listen, I got TFSA. I like to get X amount of interest on my money. Can I do it, invest for 5 years? If you understand the power of joint ventures, it's just like multiplying your talent. You want to put the money to work for you. Here is one universal truth. If you want to write it down, please write it down. Can anybody please put in the chat, write it on the chat, please? This is a very good old saying. If you're working for the money, if you're working for the salary, you'll remain poor. If you're working for the money, you'll remain poor. If the money is working for you, you're extremely wealthy. If you're working for the money as a salary, you'll remain poor. If the money is working for you, you are wealthy. That's a new skill, by the way. It's a skill. Make sure you put the money to work for you. Money makes more money, just like a seed. You plant one seed, it gives you 100 seeds back. So make sure that your TFSA, RSP money, or any other money you have, make sure to invest it nicely. And it is going to pay you off in the long-term basis. Moving forward, we always looking for JV partners, by the way, in case you want to invest in multi-units or small buildings, houses, Alberta, all across Canada, by the way, in every different province. We have superstars. They have the proven record. They have done few deals in every province, majority of the provinces, not every province, I'm sorry, but majority of the provinces though. And they can share with you what provinces they've done deal and what deals are available. If you happen to be Saskatchewan, if you happen to be BC, or if you happen to be Alberta or Nova Scotia or Ontario, wherever you are, let us know if you're looking for a deal. We have some discounted deals for you, whether it's a multi-unit, single-family home, or land development. Alberta real estate boom, gonna be going up for next 8 years. Why? The gas price is not gonna come down for a while. All this mess which is created because of the war and also the COVID, the lockdown. Now all of a sudden everything's opening up. We have a lot of catch up to do. Try to go out and buy some materials, especially the cars. The chips are about 1 year in delays. The used cars are pretty expensive. Building materials, there's a shortage. And there's a shortage of a lot of goods, which are consumer goods all across the universe, not only in Canada. And we definitely need some timing to catch up to it. And again, oil prices, oil and gas prices are also going to bring another boom for Alberta especially, and also as Saskatchewan, by the way. Moving forward, eviction by the bank. This is oh my God, this is very painful. Everything's opened up. Courts are start doing evictions again or repossessions. A writ of seizures are being issued, and this is slowly but surely opening up can of worms. A lot of people who have been relying upon handout money because of the COVID are not going to get the payments. They have to pay taxes on it. This is going to be next 3 to 5 years, going to be chaos time for CRA. Canada Revenue Agency have hired about 20 or 30,000 more people to take care of your taxes. One thing I request you, I remind you, please make sure you are always in the good books with the CRA. They're going to come after you. Don't try to do anything funny. Any money come to your account is considered income, period. Any money came into your account is considered income, and you're supposed to pay taxes on it. It's that simple. Okay. This is another issue Canadians are facing. We're spending a lot of money on the credit cards, keep borrowing because borrowing is cheap. Tomorrow, borrowing is going to become expensive. Your mortgage payments, credit card payments, leases, anything else you borrow money from, including your mortgage payments. If you happen to be variable, that'll be another ball game altogether. Be aware of it. Make sure you don't spread yourself way too thin. And again, bankruptcies are going to spike up again, regardless, even though we have the highest employment rate. The only drawback is inflation. And people go out there, and now if you notice that, this is again a Stat Canada, I will share the figure with you. People are not buying as much as meat as they used to. It's too expensive. People are cutting down. When people go for shopping and groceries and so on, they start feeling the pinch. If you really want to say it, I have a request for you. Please, a humble request to you, spend one day, only one day of your life in the food bank. You will come home and you will value the food and you will value the life you have. Foreclosures are coming. This is something has been in the works. When the property keep going up, people are keep borrowing more and more money. What happened when it stalled? It doesn't appreciate anymore or start now stabilizing. This is going to become a major issue. People have been living off their equity. Now, here is a figure, and the figure is over 2 million people in Ontario not 2 million people, 2 million homeowners. In Ontario, we have approximately 51 million properties. So more or less, it becomes 4% of all Ontario's homeowners could be in trouble because of increase of interest rate and inflation. And a lot of jobs are disappearing, new jobs are coming in. If you are, they're retraining a lot of people. We have a shortage of tradespeople, and there are a lot of jobs which are appearing really fast because of technology. So again, you may gonna find there'll be flood of foreclosures, power sales, and some similar stuff coming in where people have fire sale. They need to get rid of the property very fast, very quickly though. All right, moving forward. In case anybody is facing a foreclosure, we'll be more than happy to help them. And let us know. We will walk you through the process. It doesn't matter wherever they are in Canada. I believe last year we might have helped a couple hundred families in foreclosures, and a lot of families, we bought the properties and resold them. They were happy that we were there for them. And this is a story published in recently the Toronto Star about how I helped another family to make sure they don't become homeless though. This is something incredible. Please make a note. If you're not made even a single note tonight, this is the note I want you to make, please. The address is 275 Forest Hill Road. This is a vacant lot. It will be worth about $4 million. And this property will go on auction. If you stay in tune, I'll let you know when this property goes off for auction. How many of you will be happy to see this property being sold in auction, property worth $4 million, it may gonna sell for $1 million? Is that a good deal? I cannot hear you.
Yes, very good. Where do I sign?
Good deal.
Yes.
Yeah, totally very, very good, isn't it? Again, this property we have been watching for a long time. And last time this property was sold in 1957, 65 years ago. So there are a lot of stuff which goes in the loophole and the loop. And distressed property don't come because in one day. Some property take 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60, 70 years now. So this is part of an example for you, is something which is very factual, that this property has been, there's no ownership since 1957. And it has avoided the auction. Usually the requirement is if you do not pay property taxes, the city will sell it. But how come this property have not been picked up by the city? Again, write down the number and the date. And if you are attending this meeting on a regular basis, you will come to know. Next thing we're going to talk about.
What's the size of the property now?
About 7,000 square feet.
Okay.
You can just Google it, 275 Forest Hill Road in Forest Hill.
Looking at it now, thank you.
It is quite an interesting area, very expensive area. Okay, we're gonna break for a break room shortly, but I think I need to discuss a couple of things. Anybody about for coaching, anybody have a coach? I will just let you know, we do offer some coaching programs. And this is something I like to share with you about the real estate coaching. And this comes from the Warren Buffett. In 1952, Warren Buffett invested $100 into a Dale Carnegie course. Dale Carnegie is the author of the How to Win Friends and Influence People. Buffett said that is the single greatest investment of all time, an investment itself. Question, are you investing in your education? Are you investing in your coaching? You can book a 30-minute appointment with us at this number. If you're looking into coaching, let's talk, see if it is for you, if you're on the same page. Moving forward, this is something I really like, by the way. And people say, I don't want to take a risk. And that's the biggest risk you're taking. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. Yes or yes?
Yes.
And those people
Yes.
who sideline
Yeah.
for years, one day I'll buy real estate, one day I will take education, one day I'll do the coaching, one day I'll invest money. That's the biggest risk they are doing, taking no action. By the time you wake up in the morning, go in the tub, that's a risk. People die in the tubs. Oh, just a point of view. Risk is required regardless if you're going to move forward. And not taking risk is the biggest risk. A couple of things I'll let you know. People are talking about a lot of people leaving Alberta, a lot of people leaving Ontario, where people are going. Just a little fact about BC, just thought I came across on the table. Over 100,000 people moved to BC in 2021. BC is very expensive. Why people are moving there? This is the highest number of people moving since 1961. And this is a migration, but within the country itself. And this is the second highest international immigration rate on record, by the way. And there were only 36,000 for inward migration to BC. And again, if you look at the number very carefully, there is something which kind of surprised us, that there are 84,000 more people working in BC than ever before. And even though against the flood, against being real estate very expensive in BC, and sometimes the facts will speak much louder. These are the facts given to us by the Ministry of Jobs and Economics and Stat Canada, just to let you know that sometimes cheap does not mean people will go there. Opportunities, the weather. This is something I'm so happy to share with you. Canadian employers looking to fill 915,500 jobs. Is that a lot? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But these are not regular jobs, by the way. These are high paying jobs, by the way. And we can feel that because now everybody's compromising. People are hiring people overseas, virtually, but this job need to be filled up. So when people talk about about 1 million and 1.2 million new immigrants coming to Canada, we need them. And they're not going to take anybody's job, by the way. They're coming in to fill these jobs, to get the Canadian economy rolling, to pay more taxes. Just thought I should share with you when people talk about not the facts. These are the facts, by the way. What does that mean is this also create a question. Do we need more supply of new houses? Answer is yes. Would that stabilize our Canadian real estate market values? The answer is yes. These are economic factors. One should look into it before you're making a statement, oh, real estate is going to go up or down. Where do you think people are going to go the most? Is it Toronto? Is it Ontario? Or is it BC? Or is it going to go to Nova Scotia? Or are they going to Montreal or Quebec? This is something disaster happened, by the way. This is a disaster happened in province of Saskatchewan. A group of two young ladies decided to take a lot of money from other people's money on a promissory note, bought 500 houses or 400 houses. And now, whatever the reasons are, there are $20 million missing. And a lot of investors are facing a bankruptcy. Their properties are gone. And there's a huge investigation into it. So if you come across some deals coming through Battleford, Regina, Saskatoon, be aware of the deal. Some of the property have been abandoned for 5 to 7 years. They are not worth even a penny. You have to demolish them. It may going to cost you more money to fix them than to buy brand new ones. So this is gonna be going through the funnel. Be aware of it. The company was called Epic Alliance. Again, you will hear more stories than the facts. And the facts will come through the court office only or through the Security Commission of Ontario, Saskatchewan, and BC. Majority of the investors are from Ontario and BC. If happen to come across those investors, they might be in a situation where they are totally distressed and they might have to sell their other properties in BC or Ontario to cover their expenses though. This happens every time and the boom get to burst, and it's quite normal, but when you do not do your due diligence, when you do not get the proper legal advice of your own. This is something else on the same deal. Something interesting for you to share, by the way. Anybody interested in buying this property on Big Virgin Island? It's close to Thunder Bay, by the way. 10 acres of land. It has a kind of funny name to it. It's kind of funny. There are a lot of things I will not say it. The private island in Northern Ontario is perfect for someone who's never had whatever, XXX. I won't say anything further than that. This is a attention grabber, by the way. You need to have a helicopter boat to get there because it's an island itself. And this could be a great deal if you happen to enjoy the ice fishing as well as you enjoy summer. This could be a great deal, by the way. For 3.25, it's not a bad price when you look into Toronto's price or other provinces. This is flooding is the homeowner's hell. Please underline it. I don't care you live in Mississauga or Brampton. I don't care you live in Calgary or you live in Vancouver. I don't care where you live in Halifax or anywhere. This is something else. You need to have a flood protection for yourself. Did we expect a flood in Abbotsford? No. What happened when levee broke down? Do we have flood in Winnipeg every year? Do we have flood in Calgary every year? Do we have floods in Mississauga? Do we have floods in Brampton? Do we have floods in downtown Toronto? So you need to be up with the new policies, by the way. Do your homework. This is gonna be not gonna disappear, by the way. This is gonna become severe as the time goes along because of global warming, whatever you wanna call it up, and make sure that you have a proper insurance. Also from a mortgage bank as well as from insurance company, because the property could be totally wiped out. You could be in millions of dollars of debt. This is pretty serious, by the way. Even if you have a brand new house anywhere, it's okay to be safe than sorry. It's okay to spend extra nickels and dimes to have peace of mind. This is a grant available for all Canadians, by the way. If you are upgrading your furnace, your windows for energy saving, very important for you to have it. By the way, if you happen to be in Edmonton and Toronto, their program called PACE is known for properties as clean energy. That's very helpful for you. Make sure you apply for it. And why spend money out of your pocket when you can replace the windows at no cost to you, or replace the furnace at no cost to you? This is only for Calgary, by the way. I noticed that there are a few people in Calgary. We had an issue with a hail there. Hail can do a lot of damage. There is only one-time grant available till May 31st, which is the next month. And it's approximately, I believe, $3,000 for the roof. Just thought I should share with you. Luxury taxes are already in, by the way, starting January 2022. Anything you buying a car over $100,000, anything you might be paying 10% extra fee. Just thought I should share with you. People don't realize why I'm paying so much more money. I paid 13%. Why is this 10% for? That's luxury tax, by the way. That just started in January 1st. Just thought I should let you know. One of the best days to buy real estate is Monday. If you want to buy deep discounted properties, always buy on Monday. People are very emotional, drained out, depressed, don't feel good about it. That's the best day to negotiate and get the best deals ever. Blue Monday. These are a couple of guys who flip a bunch of properties, by the way. The gentleman, Daniel Starr, some of you might know of him. He is the game mind. He bought a property for 13 million, sold it for 25, made about $12 million. Is that a good deal? Making 12 million bucks in a one flip. But he's not the only one. All the wealthy Americans or Canadians are making a lot of money in flips. Guess who else has made a lot of money? Tommy Hilfiger. What did he buy? He bought a property for 30 million, sold it for 50 in 4 months' time. Is that a good flip? $20 million flip?
Not bad.
Not bad. All right. I agree with you, sir. All right. Well, it's good money. I can bet you anything that, he's making more money flipping houses at times than other than his business at the same time. So we have a training coming up. Those who want to take some training on April 14th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. flippingforprofit.ca. Make sure you get yourself a ticket to attend this training, how to wholesale and find deep discount properties in Canada. And it'll be a lot of fun. And I believe we have maybe a few tickets left for it. In case you want to attend it, just get yourself a ticket immediately, please. Check before you invest. This is the most important website you must have. If you're investing anything apart from yourself, you're going to be part of the syndication, a group of investors. Check with the local security commission. There are a lot of black sheeps out there. A lot of projects which are shady. You want to have peace of mind. Just one quick phone call or check before you invest.ca. Just call them up just for the peace of mind. Having good lawyer, good CPA is a great thing, but you still need to do your own due diligence. As I mentioned about coaching, if you want to become a lot more successful, get a coach, period. Whether it's a health, your wealth, your real estate, spirituality, make sure you have a good coach to lead you to the success. So now what we're going to do is the next meeting will be on May 10th. We're going to open up for about 10 minutes of network. So make sure you introduce yourself. Make sure you do not dominate the room. There will be about 4 or 5 rooms altogether. And as we go along, this room is going to become from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 1, and then only 1. And you get to meet everybody. We have people from all across Canada. We have people from BC, Alberta, from Montreal, Ontario, Quebec, 1 or 2 people from New Brunswick, and maybe 3 or 4 people from that Atlantic provinces, from Nova Scotia and Newfoundland as well, though. If anybody have any questions, please put in the chat box. Our superstars will be more than happy to talk to you. If you have any questions, hey, feel free to call us, and you can ask the questions. I will be in the rooms as well with you. Time to time, I'll come in. The next meeting will be on May 10th on Tuesday. I just thought I should let you know. Now we're going to go into the break rooms and make sure that you speak and you share your thoughts with everybody else, please. So now we can open up the rooms, and I will say, when I say thank you very much, and if I don't get to speak to you, thank you for attending tonight. And this is going to be for about 10 minutes all together. Thank you and enjoy. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir.